Hi everyone, let's go through my preferred medium time frame and low time frame scenarios, including potential trading setups and a little bonus scenario at the end as well. My preferred bullish scenario in the medium time frame is that the low of the bear market is in and we are currently in a wave 1 followed by a wave 2 and then eventually a bigger move, wave 3, to the upside. In this scenario, the end of wave 5 might be in or will soon be in, as we are currently ranging in the most common wave 5 target area, which is the 1.236 and the 1.618, pulled from the high of 3 to the low of 4. The maximum target, the 1.618, is 29.6k. The potential trading setup is entering the potential shorts over here, stop loss safely above, trading it to the downside for then a wave 2, where the most common Fibonacci targets for a wave 2 are the 0.5 all the way to the 0.786, with the rare targets being the 0.382 and the 0.886, pulled from the low of 1 to then the high of wave 1. The most common, however, target for wave 2 is the golden pocket, the 0.618 and the 0.66, basically sitting at 19.8k to 19.3k. Also a nice confluence with the low over here of a wave 4 for maybe a nice sweet liquidity grab before then moving to the upside. Important to mention are the Fibonacci times that you see on the chart, pulled from the low of 1 to the high of wave 1, where we would expect wave 2 to take at least 38.2% in time of the length of this wave 1, which currently sits at the 4th of May. However, a wave 2 can also all the way go to the 1-to-1, which is the 17th of July. It all depends on how this wave 2 would eventually come down. If we then look at the bearish scenario on the medium time frame, we have a W followed by an expanded flat X and then eventually a Y. And the expanded flat in X has a 5-wave C over here, where the target area is exactly the same, so it doesn't matter if it's a wave 1 or a wave X, the trading setup as well as the target is exactly the same. The only difference is if one would enter a short position to the downside, how long will you keep it? Because the target for a wave Y is massively different compared to a wave 2. In a wave 2, I already mentioned the targets, but for a wave Y, the targets are going to be between like 9 to 12k. So the trade would be much longer and much more of a swing trade compared to a potential wave 2, which actually leads to a lot more upside. If we then go to the lower time frame bearish scenario, which is preferred on this lower time frame, I also have a bullish one by the way, then we have over here a yellow wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually a 5, followed by an ABC expanding flat. Now yesterday I mentioned just before basically the news came out at my 7 p.m. video that I would expect when the news comes out that the news would take these highs over here before then they move to the downside, hitting the most common target of wave B, the 1.236 and the 1.38, pulled from the high of 5 to the low of this wave A, and then move to the downside with a potential trading setup over here, entering the potential shorts, stop loss safely above and moving to the downside. Now in this scenario, also looking at how long the whole move up has been, I would expect this to be only the first part of the correction, where this then is an A, B, C in a bigger W, followed by a 3-wave in the X, where there's a nice target box over here, with the target box sitting between 28k and 28.2k. After maybe hitting that target box for a nice wave X, we can then follow our way to the downside in a potential wave Y, or this can be an A, B, C for a little bit more downside, and also a C wave is a lot more impulsive than a wave Y is. Now, if we then go to the, let's say, more bullish scenario, then we have a 1-2-1-2, and then we expect basically a very big third wave to the upside and basically push through all of the resistance that we have over here. In this scenario, wave 1 is finished and wave 2 might be finished, and then a blue wave 1, wave 2, before then 3 to the upside, where this wave 2 was an expanded flat ABC, which is more rare in a 2 because a wave 2 tends to be a zigzag, which is a 5-3-5 type of move and not a flat move, expanded flat in this case. However, the minimum target for a wave 2 is hit, which is the 0.382 Fibonacci taken from the low of this wave 2 to then the high of wave 1. And also it did fit the Fibonacci time so far. The Fib time taken from the low of 2 to the high of 1 as well, with the 0.5 being crossed and actually the low at the moment being made after the 0.5, so that is valid as well. Nonetheless, this is not my preferred scenario. My preferred scenario is the bearish one, and that also has to do with the volume that we have, which actually has been tanking only because of the news it was high, but of course then it's high on the downside and not the upside. And if this is such a bullish scenario and we want to push through, you want to see volume basically increasing when price is going to the upside. However, price was going to do something like this while volume at the same time was going down. Not very bullish in my opinion. And then the little bit of a bonus scenario as well, just something I thought of and something to at least keep in mind. We did not yet hit the potential target of 29.6K. So because of that, I was like, well, is there another potential scenario? Yes. Does it look nice? Not really, but it is nonetheless something you can keep in mind. In this scenario, the high of 3 was made over here in a 1, 2, and then a 3. Expanded flat in the 4, which is the most common pattern in a wave 4, and then we would expect a wave 5 to the upside to reach the target area over here, the 1.236 and the 1.618, basically between 29K and 29.8K. That could then be the end of a wave 5 before then a move to the downside. This is at the moment not yet preferred, but we have to see how price is going to develop in the upcoming hours, days to come. And also it looks a bit weird because this wave 1 and 2, wave 2 is going to be very short compared to this very long wave 4. I mean, wave 4 tends to be longer than a wave 2 anyway, so that is valid, but it doesn't look as nice as the other scenarios I just showed you. Nonetheless, it is something to keep in mind, and I'm transparent with you guys. This is something that I also posted in my Discord group, the link in the description. So yeah, it's just something I like to show you. So that being said, I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. I'd like to thank you for watching and also subscribing, and I will see you at my next video at 7 p.m. Central East European Time. Thanks guys, bye bye.